Hey man, if it's a gig, it's a gig.
Hi, I'm Kirby Morrow, and I play every other male character in animated thing I've mentioned. And for the females. You know me as Moroku, Goku, anything. Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles, Cyclops from X-Men, and Cole from Ninjago. There's other stuff, and camera stuff. Richard and I both do a lot of camera stuff, which is doing quite well in Canada right now because your dollar is so strong. It's so mighty. It's awesome. So, hi, good to be here.
I'm Laura Post. I am just recently announced I'm Blizzard in One Punch Man. I'm Valentine in Skullgirls. I'm Ari in League of Legends. I'm Diana in Little Witch Academia. Nozomi in Love Live. And I am Ragyo Kyuhyun in Kill la Kill. This will be fun to say.
Hi. That Japanese.
Great, so now we should take some questions so we can give you some answers. Who wants to be in charge of picking? You do.
Can you all give an explanation of the person to your right?
See, I only know the shows I work on. I don't know their voices. I'm sorry. Okay, to our left, but there's no to our...
Right.
It's really humid here. I'm a California guy. Wait, hold on. Dude, it's really humid here. I'm a California guy and I've got to go back. Surf.
Max and I work together all the time, so he has a great impression of me. Here it goes. You ready? Wow! That's it. And then mine is, oh, Max Mellman. I do this voice all the time. It's hurtful.
That's good. You guys are going to do your thing. He's got to do you.
I don't think we should have it.
I'll take the pass on that.
That was good. That was good and intimidating. I like that. Okay, good. So you got to pick someone else then.
Just say you like ramen.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not going to do me? Come on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Here's my Kirby impression. You 18?
Bang on!
That was good.
What's this one?
That was good. All right, someone else pick someone, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard. Uh-oh. So you was in the movie Ghost Rider, right?
Yes.
And which part of the scene you was in?
There was a part where if you sneezed, you just... Remember when he grabbed the helicopter pilot and he threw the helicopter?
And
I was the helicopter.
Tremendous range.
Oh! That happens a lot.
I'm sorry.
Yes, in the back, yes. Yeah, with the fantastic hair.
Hi. Eric, in another panel you were talking about how Mennonite meant something to the young men who, they never heard someone on TV who was a positive role model for them.
It's of the Spanish-speaking people, yes.
Right.
Right.
Did any of the rest of you voice actors have an opportunity where someone came up to you and said, hi, you voiced this, it meant something really deep and important to me?
The short version of that answer was I had done Mennonite as Antonio Banderas in that style. It was a choice that I made, and they thought, oh, why Spanish? And I said, why not? And years later, when I was doing a convention in Florida, a group of teenage boys came up to me and said, thank you for doing a voice that sounded like us, that did not make fun of us, that was not a stereotype. So that's what that was about. There you go.
Did you have an experience like that where, sorry, go ahead, yes.
That's good answer.
I had MC Hammer came up to me and said, "Thank you for making Hammer Pants seem cool." No problem, but I'll have a lot.
Obviously, Meta Knight is in a class by himself, I guess. There you go. That's true. But that's a good question. Thank you. Yes, very meek hand coming up. You can raise it higher if you want. There, that's better. Good. Yes.
You guys have voiced like multiple characters. Could you do like an impression of one character and the voice of another character you've done?
Oh, you mean like something like, I'm a flaming Moltres? Or, I'll just use this trusty frying pan as a drying pan. I don't think I can do that. That line? You'll use that frying pan and cook me breakfast because I'm Kaiba. Oh yes, my friend. Do you have rice balls for me?
Are any of you interested in trying Yukihira brand peanut butter covered octopus?
Kirby?
Don't, you gotta stay there for Scott if you ever come. No next year.
I'm interested, but I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm interested, but I'm not gonna.
You know, you eat anthrax from the audience once.
Right. A good question, yes. In the back with the wonderful silver hair, yes.
I have gifts for all of you. Can I bring them up?
Why don't we, you want to do the gifts at the end of the panel? That way, you know, no one will try to steal it from the other guy?
Unless you think that it's fun.
Is it something we can show in a PG-13 room?
Yes.
Is it older than 18?
Yeah, exactly.
It's PG-13. Actually, it's G.
All right, so while you do the gifts, we'll take another question, because this might be all. All right, great, awesome, thank you. Who's got another question for us? Yes, in the green shirt. Yeah, you're saying, it's like, what did I wear today?
Out of curiosity, do you guys time to play games? And if you do, what kinds do you play?
I'm a huge gamer geek. I've got my Atari 2600 in a box with 50 games. I've got my Genesis with 32X things so I can play Doom. I've got PS1s, 2s, Xbox. I'm now playing The Division on my Xbox One. I play with the same 3 video gamer, or vidiots as we call ourselves, every Wednesday night for the last 8 years. Does that mean I'm a gamer?
I'm in The Division. You probably kill me all the time.
I probably do. And the last part of my gamer geek thing is way before the interwebs, when there wasn't any online gaming, I had the PS1s with the link cable, and I had 2 televisions in my house with picture-in-picture. And I would play Doom with my buddy, and we'd run video signals from my game system to his TV and his game system to my TV so I could see his view in the picture-in-picture. Gamer geek? I think so.
You guys know what we got? Yeah. I got one of these last year, and it's still sitting on my vanity shelf in my office. Last year it was a tuxedo mask. This year it's a little ducky moving rider.
Is like a giant snake gonna pop out of this one? Is that what's going on?
That's just a touch for fun.
Oh.
Oh my god.
That's awesome. I think I won. I've got a Seto Kaiba deck. That's awesome. That is awesome.
We didn't answer the video game question.
Yeah, do you game?
Yeah, Max and I. We're Overwatch buddies. We play Overwatch. Yeah. Before they started ranked play, Max was one of the top above 1,000 Soldier 76 players in the world. Yeah, he's stone cold. He's got the reflexes of a caffeinated 12-year-old. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, we do. We play together pretty often. Yeah.
What are your current rankings?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on now, we're crossing the line into super. What headset do you use?
Question. You in the yellow.
Wait, there's an answer over here.
No, she's got a gamer geek question answer, please.
I also play games. There's really not much of an answer to it.
That was an answer.
Love Life came a lot. That level that I don't care is awesome. Rhythm games are my jam.
You picked Pikachu, didn't you?
This is for all the voice actors. Out of all the characters you guys have done, which character describes you the most, like your personality?
Snails from My Little Pony. I get it.
I would definitely go with like not Tuxedo Mask, but just Mamoru. Yeah, because he's kind of like flirts by being a jerk. That's kind of my MO. So yeah.
I'd say Kosei from Your Lie in April, because he's kind of, you know, I was shy as a kid, he was shy, I played the piano, he plays the piano, sad things happen to him, sad things happen to me.
Mine's kind of a combination. I liked girls a lot in high school, so Brock. And for some strange reason, I can really channel the sarcastic vibe of Kaiba. So I would think it's a combination of those two guys.
Probably, it's weird though. I think it'd be Genos because, like, just, you know, it kind of makes me think of not really giving up. You know what I mean? Like, he keeps fighting, trying to get stronger and stronger, and I think that's just super cool to, I don't know. I guess even if you're beaten down like a million times, you know, you just got to get back up, keep training, keep working hard. So. Yeah.
I know you all want me to say Moroku.
Well, he does have a suckle.
Was good.
Suckle. There we go. Next question. Oh no, sorry.
For me, it was Holly Reno Zomi in Love Live because she was like sort of lonely as a kid, but she was totally me when I was a kid. And what was really great about she felt really like lucky to be part of Love Live and like really connected about that. And I felt that way about being part of the show. I was like, I'm just so happy to be here, and she's like, I'm just so happy to be here. So probably Reno Zomi.
Good question. That was good. All right. Yes, sir. Oh, there you go. Well, if Peter plays on my most recent album, come see me at the table. $10 will get you a CD, and $9 are the Peter Frampton part of it. There you go. Very good. Very good.
Richard, I looked at your bio in the book, but I'm not sure anybody noticed that you've been doing this since 1700s.
Yeah.
You're looking good.
What's that?
You're looking good for 316.
Thank you. Sort of a Cullen sort of vibe. Sparkle.
Yes, sir.
I asked this with Kirby earlier on, but I'd like to hear from the rest of you. What project have you been involved with that you think is just underappreciated? A really good show that never got the attention or the audience it deserved?
That's super easy for me. I'm on a Nickelodeon show. It's still airing. It's called Breadwinners. It was a Saturday morning cartoon. For the 6 weeks that they promoted us, we beat SpongeBob for the first time in like 10 years for ratings. And then they just kind of buried us. And I think a lot of it was because the internet hated us real bad. We were super hated on the internet. Like the IMDb the show was like a 3.4. When the YouTube video that was based off of dropped, it was like 90% likes. And then as soon as Nickelodeon picked it up, it just bit the big one. And I feel like that one for me is like probably one of the things that I'm most proud of that ended up getting buried the most. Now we did 80 episodes. I'm happy with that. It was a great run. I love that show. I think it's really fun. It's for the target audience. So that was one I would have liked, you know, when all shows run their course. But that's one that I would have liked to see go a little further and keep its time slot. But you never know. Numbers are numbers, and networks are networks.
SpongeBob Mafia, dude.
Yeah.
I'll agree with Robbie. I guessed it on Breadwinners a few times. guest on. Yeah, I don't know. I wish it.
That's an easy one for me. I directed a show called Viva Pinata, which was a prelay show. So we recorded one actor at a time, and I assembled the dialogue, sent it to the animators to be animated, and then come back. The way that we do a lot of the original Japanese shows. The show was 10 minutes long, 10-minute episodes about nothing. It was the Seinfeld of animation. Because I worked a lot in production, I'll tell you the reason that a lot of those shows get canceled, even though they're great, is that there's no licensing for the other things that we sell. So when the video game didn't do very well, and there's no card game to go with it, and all those other things, we had good ratings, but they killed the show. We did 2 seasons of it, and you can find all the episodes on Hulu, but it was just we had a 6-person writing team, like a sitcom, writing every episode, and they would just throw ideas out, and if it was a funny idea, it became a show. Because there was no gameplay involved in the show at all. It has nothing to do with the video game whatsoever, except for the actual animated characters. So because of that, we could do anything we wanted. And that's the thing I'm most proud of. And if someone says, in the whole list of things, it's not the most famous thing I worked on, but it's like if you want to see me as a director, and I play some small characters in it, Viva Pinata, hands down.
So basically giving you future cult classics to look up.
So wait, what is it? Something that was like kind of popular?
Well, something that you worked on that you wish you would have had a bigger audience.
It's really good, but
That's really good, I'm very proud of it. Didn't have the same.
Even like video game stuff?
Sure.
Yeah. So there's this one really cool video game, and it's out right now. It's called Zombie Vikings for the PS4. And so basically, super crazy. I think it's just a really funny video game. You'd have to go check it out. I just know it didn't really get a lot of popularity. It was on the PlayStation Plus vote to they had the little vote, you get 3 games or something, and you get to vote for whatever game you get to have for free if you're a PlayStation Plus member. And it didn't really get a ton of votes, but the game is really fun. I think the voice acting is really cool and funny. So that was
we did a show back home in Canada called Dr. Dimension Pants. One of the funniest shows I've ever recorded. It was a prelay show, and we did 1 season, and that was it, and it just never really they didn't push it, maybe they could have, but I guess never really found its audience. But it was a really, really funny show. It was always about best joke in the room wins, even outside of the writing, if you sort of bad win something, it would stay. So that was a really funny. You can find it online, but it's in terms of I played a unicorn that barfed rainbows. British. So right there, that's the hook. I don't know why. What the hell happened? Right?
I'm not sure it's related, but the show wouldn't hire me, so I don't know why it didn't work.
Probably for me, it's a video game. It's The Evil Within, and I know some people here know it. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Some people here know it. It's a really, really, really good survival horror game, and I'm a huge fan of Resident Evil and stuff. So I was so stoked when it came out, and then a lot of people were talking about it. But I thought it was great, and I love it. And 6 seasons in a movie, I don't know. But yeah.
And mine was Project Arms. Anybody remembers that show? Young guys lose an appendage. Cool show.
You. Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, that's awkward. I'm sorry. It's you in the blue.
Okay. When you guys work a job like voice acting, I assume you have headphones on, and there's probably only so many people that you actually get to talk to or that you listen to in those headphones. What is that relationship like, and what kind of shorthand do you have with them to kind of get what you want out of the job, Can you give us a little insight into that shorthand? Is there somebody else on the headphones when you're working a job like that?
Well, that changes in all different, I direct myself on a lot of the shows since I was a director, so I'm talking to myself, which is usually a strange thing to do. Well, my grandmother used to say, if you talk to yourself, it means you have a lot of money. That's what she choose to say it. I'm not saying that's the life I lead, but it really depends. I mean, I do a lot of commercial stuff too, where there'll be an entire committee sitting in the room, and they'll all have their different opinions, and you hope that they just filter it through the director to give you something that you can actually work with to a degree. But it's all different dynamic. I'll say as a director to an actor, the way that I approach being a director is, I want to gain your trust so that you know that we're on the same team. It's not my way or your way. It's if I look good, if you look good or sound good, and we're trying to do something together. And if you don't gain the trust of the actor that you're directing, you're never going to get anything, and you're both going to just put up those walls. So you want to trust your director, and you want your director to feel like, you know, they're your friend, that you have the same goal. So in terms of listening to that voice, you talk to someone the way, in a booth, the way you would talk to different people in a room. If you were at a dinner party and there were 5 different people sitting there and you told an off-color joke and one person laughed, you'd realize that's the person you could be that way with. You see the people, the body language from someone else at that table is offended by that. You realize you got to speak to them in a different way. It's the same way that you're dealing with actors. You got to know who your audience is in order to interact with them the right way. At least that's how I approach it as a director. So hopefully that answers your question.
Is there an engineer in there?
Sometimes I self-engineer my stuff too. I mean, that's just me. But, you know, I don't let anyone else in my booth. And, you know, that's it.
When you're not self-directing or engineering, I think to answer your question, there is almost always an engineer and a director. Sometimes they might be the same person, but pretty rarely. That's pretty standard. And you do filter your questions through them. When you get to be your own way, that'd be awesome. But mostly you have a director that you rely on. And when he says having the panel filter it through them, they have a talkback button. If you're talking, I think you're asking about logistics.
Yes.
And they have their conversation on the other side of the glass. You can't hear them, and then the director filters that all down and tells you what you need to do to get the performance that they're looking for. It's typically the way it goes down. When you're in the room with another actor, like in Prelay, then most of the time you're in the same room with them, and then you get to play the same way that you would play on camera or on stage, still being directed by a director on the other side.
Would you ever say something back like, oh, well, turn me up a little bit on this?
Oh, sure. It's called setting levels, and we do that at the top of every session. You can set your headphone levels, and they're getting levels in the studio. So if you get real loud and you yell, or you're going to be real quiet, they want to be able to set that up so that it plays either way on both ends of the spectrum.
I got a good story about this. So I went in for the callback for the lead in the new series, and there was all these people on the line with my headphones in LA. And in 20 years of doing this as a job, I never once, when you audition, you just read your own lines. No one has ever read the lines in between. In 20 years, never. So there was one character had the first line, I had the second line, and then it went like that. So when I started reading, I jumped into the second line off the beginning, and I went to jump to my next line, and the director on the phone in LA started to read the line in between. And I stopped. I'm like, oh, are you going to read the lines with me? And she said, well, it kind of works better that way, doesn't it? There's all the executives and everybody on the line. I'm like, okay, good. Let's start again. And I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, and I'm like, you have the first line. She goes, oh, so she reads the first line. I read the second. She reads the third. I read the fourth. And nothing. And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. I'm like, blank, it's your line. And she said, do you need me to read them with you, or can you just read them with yourself? 20 years, this has never happened. I didn't get the part.
You got her part. And to add to the craziness of the committee, though, and I tell people this story too. It's like there'll be like 10 people in the room, right? You got your advertising people, your agency people, stuff like that, right? And you're in the booth. Sometimes you're brought into the booth. You didn't even meet those people in person. You just walk in and see them like in an aquarium window, right? And this is what you see. And if you get this, yeah, can we just try one? Just do one. That's your direction. Can you just try one? You go, okay, and you read it down, and then you see this. And then you get, yeah, can we just try that again? That's your direction. And you're like, oh, they hate me. They realize they just cast the wrong guy on the casting tape. Okay, great. You try it again, and then you see a little bit more. And so you think they hate you. What you really, this is what's really going on. If the talkback was open, I ordered the roast beef, not not the turkey. I don't understand why you never get my lunch order right. Look, just because you're vegan doesn't mean, things like that. And that's what's going on. But you don't get that. You just get this. And the worst piece of direction I ever got in a commercial booking was, can you do that a little bit more orange? And I was not reading for an orange or anything related to an orange, but as a professional actor, I said, hold on. Yes, I think I got it. And did it, and of course it was more orange.
Shit.
Sure, yeah.
I'm not sure if you properly answered this question.
Go to your second.
I love all of them.
No, you wrote it somewhere in there. So you'll go after him.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I like it all. All right.
Okay,
What
good.
am I saying? Wing scar? All right. Get your camera phone ready. And I'm gonna sit around and fart around. Use up most of your battery. You're gonna upload this to YouTube, and then all the comments are gonna be such a dick. Why does he just be the line? All right. Wing scar!
Who hasn't asked a question? You pick the guy. Okay, you pick the guy. Go and pick him.
Go ahead. Figure it out. You got two. You got two.
Okay, Eric, I'm not sure if you probably answered my question, but you said that Kaiba is a complicated person, correct?
Yeah.
And how is he complicated from your perspective?
Well, I was saying that I don't think that Kaiba is truly a villain. I think he's a rival. I think that to be the best, which of course is Yugi, I have to admit that, you need someone that pushes you to be the best. Otherwise, he could just relax and just sit around, right? So if you follow the story, all the way to the Egyptian story arc, you know that Kaiba is Yugi's, or the Pharaoh's sparring partner, right? Well, you can't really be someone's sparring partner in modern day high school. That would be kind of weird. This is my best friend, my girlfriend, and my sparring partner. Right? So the way that I approached him was that the sarcasm and the way that he's needling him is basically keeping him at the top of his game. So that's the complicated part about that, is treating him as a rival, not as a villain. But we also know, if you know the manga, you know that Kaiba's real story, right? Kaiba kills his father by pushing him out the window, right? No, that's episodes 1 and 2, which we never aired. We started with episode 3.
I never seen it. Spoiler alert!
I know. So Kaiba, with his protection of his younger brother, that's why they both became orphans. Well, that's kind of an easy way to do it, right? That's why he's basically taken over the father role of protecting. They are abused children, and so there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and that's why he is so protective of himself and his brothers, because that's the complicated part. So knowing a little bit of the backstory, which I don't know with most of the characters I play, but this one took a lot of time because I was directing the show, and it took us a long time to cast it until finally I said, I'll play it. It really was like they were getting frustrated. They just could not find what they were looking for, and I finally said, I think I can do this, because I got the gist of what he was about. You know, that angry young man thing, but I don't think he's a bad guy.
You've definitely shown it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Good question. Thank you for that.
Everybody one time, go.
The character of Teen Titans. Raven.
Zach?
Yeah.
That was such a psych out. That was such a good psych out. That was like, you.
I have a question for Zach.
Yeah. That was brilliant. I wish someone had caught that on video. That was great.
I'm such a big fan of the 7 Deadly Sins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very
and,
cool.
Not the show.
No. Yeah, just all of the sins. Yes.
I was wondering exactly what was it like for you, like to see your character as you're voicing him. I love Marco.
Really? Oh, wow. Gosh, it's so cool, to just, trying to voice the kid to the moment and stuff, and fighting against Hendrix and it too. You know, me and KG Tang were kind of going back and forth. Like I was running into him as I was done recording. So I recorded like the first part of Arthur, and then KG came in and he recorded Hendrickson. And I was like, dude, pick up the flag. Like, well, he recorded Hendrickson, and then I go back in and I think, dude, oh my God, you sound so cool. And so, you know, like we're just going back and forth. I love hearing other voices in my headphones, you know, like so, because we all, for anime, we record individually, so it's really cool to like, like, I guess, it feels like I'm able to get more into my character as I'm, you know, kind of playing off of someone. And I know Arthur, I think, was voiced by a woman in Japanese, right? So, so I mean, it was a little...
Typecast.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's just really cool, you know. I'm so honored to be part of the show. Hopefully season 2 happens. I know Arthur gets a big part in season 2 of the show, so I guess we will see.
Now you
Yeah, okay. This is for all of you. What is the funniest blooper or outtake that you've ever experienced while voice acting?
Irving's got to think about this one because he doesn't know which one to pick.
It's tough because this is supposed to be family friendly.
Yeah, really.
And if it's from a cartoon, there's some of the filthiest sexual.
I will say that the women said dirtier things than any of the guys on the shows I worked for. Yep, definitely. They were dirtier.
Mine don't involve me. But, one is true because I heard it and I was there for it, and the other one is true for Vancouver. The first one is during a recording of X-Men Evolution. We recorded a good portion of the show, and at that point, actors get bored and they start wandering out of the studio and they don't have lines for a while. So I wandered out of the studio. I'm sitting in the sofa watching. I was on the engineering side, and I was watching the recording. And most people were sitting down, and a certain actor was standing. He plays a rather gruff guy on the show. And so he had, and we loved him. And he had an excerpt that he had to do, like a big ramp up. And he did it, and he put his all into it. He just, you know, he goes for it. And you heard audibly on the track. That actually happened. And then off mic, because to me, the funniest things ever recorded happened off mic. All you heard in the room was, "Oh my God!" And the other one, which is more in Vancouver, there's another actor who had to burp for his, you know, for the moment, and so he's like, no, I can do it. I don't need a stunt. So he says, oh, I just need a can Coke. So he like takes his can Coke, he chugs the whole, and he goes and does one of the most glorious burps to have ever been recorded, like Eudora will, and puked. This is on a DAF somewhere hidden away in a vault.
That actor tells the story is it did come out, it hit the stand, and he caught it all. Ricochet.
Okay, mine, so it's just a commercial, it wasn't an animated anything, but I was talking about breast cancer, like a healthcare thing, and first time I called it breast cancer. Take two, breast cancer. It was the weirdest thing, but yeah, so that was great. And breast and best
We did a lot of promos for the networks that we were airing the shows, right? For the WB, for Fox, stuff like that. And I was one of the main promo guys that I'd go in and jump in and say, coming up next on the WB, that sort of stuff. And they would hand me like a ton of promos to read. in the 15 minutes I had between the other stuff that we were doing there. The engineer that worked that room would save all of our outtakes because there was a lot of cursing, because we would stumble on things that were poorly written and things like that. And then every Christmas would give out a CD to all of the actors with different songs, different cuts on the CD based on the curse word used, scored over some beautiful Christmas music. So I have some fantastic versions of like the F word over White Christmas and with all of the actors, and it's like, it's just that stuff. It's nothing of the other words in between. It's just constantly that, all around, right? And whenever I get those Christmas gifts, I realize I'm the one that's cursing the most. I mean, honestly. Now, a good voice actor will continue to stay in character when making the mistakes and doing the little outtake things like that. So there are like definitely Brock and James and Kaiba using all of that kind of stuff. So when I finally retire from voice acting completely, I will release that.
Somehow we only have 5 minutes left.
Speed round.
So, speed round. Ready. And go.
For Robbie.
Robbie.
You voice Moving Rider, right?
Yes.
Do you bike, and if you do, did you get any of those experiences through your Moving Rider?
I did not ride my bicycle to sessions. I do have a bicycle and I have a motorcycle.
Excellent.
Yes.
Good speed round question and answer.
Next.
What is your favorite style of music?
Oh, I love classic R&B, 90s hip hop, and classic rock.
Nice. Who else has a question for Robbie?
And they're like, oh.
Right there. Yes.
Yeah.
Kirby.
Hi.
What was it like voicing in Ninjago?
Awesome.
Good answer. Max?
Way back there. Yes.
To get in character for Saitama, did you shave your head or anything?
Now we'll have to. Make sure.
Good answer.
Somebody else make your pick.
Oh no, right in front.
Besides Inuyasha, X-Men Evolution, and Zoid, how many other characters of Lord does Kelly Bash?
Good answer.
Moving on, maroon shirt, long arms, handsome man.
Yeah.
Kirby.
Yes, sir.
Could Goku beat Superman?
Yeah. Yeah.
And way back. Yes.
Have any of you ever gotten the hiccups while recording?
Every day.
Blue wig.
Have any of you guys cosplay? Do you cosplay? And have you ever cosplayed a character that you voice?
It's called Halloween.
I've only dressed up as Elvis. I dress up as Elvis at every Halloween. There's your cosplay. There it is. And that's true.
Robbie don't cosplay.
Max like Rob. Max don't cosplay.
Same.
Pick someone.
Cosplaying right now.
Yes.
Right there.
Richard's actually a 6-foot black man.
Have you ever worked on any projects that you didn't want to say you worked on?
Yeah.
Good answer.
Laura, you said you played League of Legends. Just quick question. What do you do against toxic players?
Ignore them.
Alright, 2 minutes left. Front row picture.
For everybody, who is your favorite superhero?
Batman.
Spider-Man.
Superman.
Batgirl.
Sure.
Girls.
Saitama!
Black superhero outfit.
Green shirt, brown hat.
Now we know who we're
Stewart.
Oh, what?
If they dubbed the new Yu-Gi-Oh movie, would you consider
I'm liking it.
Would you like me to?
Yeah.
Then I will.
I've done this too many
Pokemon
times.
Go team.
Go! Mystic! Mystic!
Rocket.
You guys, feeling out the 5 this weekend. I think a Pokemon Go question is a pretty good one to end on.
Thank you so much for being a great panel. See you later.